Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2020 ITTF World Tour Platinum. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow, and this is the men's doubles final. Out on court already. World champions both several times in different events. Xu Xin and Ma Long, but running in now the British boys, the men of England. Liam Pitchford, the taller of the two, and Paul Drinkhall, the more experienced of the two, on the far right. Paul Drinkhall getting warmed up already, getting hyped for a best of five.
That side, okay. Who's going to receive? Service. Who's going to serve? So, serve. Ma Long.
So Ma Long will serve. And the receiver will be Liam Pitchford. So Ma Long to Liam Pitchford to start it off. This should be a very interesting match for many reasons. Xu Xin, the most celebrated doubles player in the men's game, or in mixed doubles for that matter as well, currently. Although title-wise, there was an interesting article, two of them I believe, about Ma Lin. How Ma Lin has more titles than Xu Xin. Now Xu Xin is partnered with Yang Haoun, he's partnered with Liu Shiwen, he's partnered with all sorts of players, different events, taken titles. Fan Zhendong, his over-the-table game, his flick, his footwork, his service, everything else makes him very strong. Now, there was a lot of analysis of Ma Long at the German Open. I talked to many table tennis fans in the crowd, and even other local players after going to play at some clubs throughout Germany. When we talked about Ma Long, one thing that came up was basically managing emotions. He looked to be quite, I'd say, upset. Even, yeah, I think that's a fair way to say it. We just don't see him sort of losing control mentally that way quite as much, like it was getting the best of him. And I think it's frustrating for any player, any professional athlete. I mean, you can even talk to players who've been training for years, never became full-time professionals, but they're out of the game for a little bit, and they don't want to play matches anymore. They become coaches or club owners, whatever it is, because they know that they're not capable physically of what their brain thinks their body can do. Now Ma Long, 31 years old, still relatively young for most associations, but for the Chinese national team, that's the senior most member on the team. He's the captain, he's the defending gold medalist of the Olympic Games in Rio. There's still no certainty about who's going, but I imagine that with all the work he's doing and all the physical therapy, the knee surgery, can you imagine being as celebrated as Ma Long getting a knee surgery in the United States and not playing the Olympic Games? Paul Drinkhall saying I love you to my wife. Say Joanna, I think, Chopper for England before. I believe Liam Pitchford's engaged, but he didn't send any hip-wiggling signals to any loved ones watching from home. But don't worry, he loves you too. So these two right here, quite a shock considering all the others that are left in the event, or that entered anyway. Paul Drinkhall and Liam Pitchford started off 3-0 over the locals, our Qatari doubles men's pair. It was a 3-0 victory. Following that, Hong Kong's Lam Su Hong and Ing Pak Nam. That was a 3-1 victory for the British boys. Then again, Hong Kong's Ho Kwon Kit and Wang Chun Ting, 3-2. And here they are in the final. In terms of Ma Long and Xu Xin, started off beating Anton Kjellberg and Yun Persson of Sweden. Anton Kjellberg actually offering quite a scare to Fan Zhendong. Had a 3-2 lead, very tight game 6. In game number 7, Fan Zhendong was just too strong. But after moving on 3-0 over the Swedes, it was Tomokazu Harimoto and Masataka Morizono 3-2 for these two. Then after that, Fan Zhendong and Wang Chuqin 3-0, favoring Xu Xin and Ma Long. So here they are in the final. Only 2 games dropped total, and it was to Japan's Tomokazu Harimoto and Masataka Morizono. So it's a best of 5 final. The dictator to start, love all. It's a very
Love,
subtle
one.
smile in the crowd there. Sort of like Andy Dufresne on the rooftop. Good bend on the ball. Xu Xin makes it curve out of reach. Good flick.
2-1.
Guiding under the ball, dragging the racket and making it curve to the deep backhand. Drinkhall over the table, quite strong.
2-all.
Now the strong favorites here you would imagine to be Ma Long and Xu Xin. After all, Xu Xin world #1. Ma Long world #3, men's doubles champion at the World Championships last year.
Let 2-all.
The big swing there, Paul Drinkhall in position, a bit behind the table, but says, well, I'm in the right spot to take the counter. It's never easy against Xu Xin's different arcs, his loops. Oh, perfect placement. Now, this is one thing about Pitch's game that makes him very difficult to play against. He's so unpredictable, and he plays dangerous shots quite early out in front. Using that reach to his advantage. Gavin Evans in the corner, coach for the England team. Ah, surprise, surprise. Drinkhall's got a surprise for you, Ma Long. Now, when Ma Long came back from his knee surgery, there seemed to be some question in his trusting of that knee, his movement. But despite being beaten a few times recently, I think he's improved a lot since coming back. Ball goes down. Oh,
3-5.
I think they're giving it to the Chinese pair's side.
4-all.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your fair play, your honesty, no question about it. The long push drifts a little bit long. And again, the kick on that shot from Xu Xin. It's clearly giving some trouble to Paul Drinkhall. He's very strong in the counter loop rally. He's got outstanding footwork. Both of the English boys here, the British boys, fighters. Good in the counter loop game, good behind the table as well.
8-4.
So second towel break, a 4-point lead for Ma Long and Xu Xin. It's funny, a bit of a pancake flip to the king of the pancake flip, Ma Long. In case you're curious, the pancake flip, much like you would flip a pancake, show the push, open racket. Oh, right down the line behind Ma Long, off the edge of the racket nonetheless, but still a beautiful shot from Paul Drinkhall. Ma Long knew he had the whole table open to cover. Starts going. Paul Drinkhall completely fooling him. That was where he was intending to hit. Could tell by the body language, in case you're wondering. I think most of you could have seen that, though. So 2 points between them now. 2 in a row for the British boys. Ah, power on the backhand.
8.
So now only 1 point between them. This is definitely possible. Again, we see more upsets in doubles than anywhere else. The Korean men at the beginning of the year over their Chinese opponents. So Lin Gaoyuan and Ma Long. I think that was another time we saw the frustration out of Ma Long. Shushin just too fast with that shot. From overhead, you could see the difference in the speed coming in. Oh, perfect timing. Shushin just drills that ball. Drives it from on top of the bounce. And a step behind. Paul Drinkhall tries for the backhand counter. It's 3 game points for world number 1 and world number 3. Casual play here as Drinkhall just covers the middle and guides it back cross court. Says, I don't have to win this shot, just have to keep it in a place because Pitch is in position. Keep it somewhere that gives Pitch a little bit of time to respond, a little bit of predictability. Keep it deep on the table, that's enough. Look at where the opponent is and look at where my teammate is. I'm safe. Game point saved, 2 to go. But it's Ma Long to finish with the sneaky fast forehand. Game number 1 to Ma Long, and Shushin will be back for game number 2. Men's doubles final right after this.
Game number 1 goes to Ma Long and Shushin from China. Taking the lead 1-0 by a score of 11-8.
Second game, Pitchford to serve. Love all.
Players back for game number 2.
Love 1.
Hopefully we get a lower angle shot throughout this match. Watch it from up close, down low. We shall see. Beautiful angle here as Pitch ducks and covers.
1 all.
Works for me, tied up at 1 point apiece. Clever long push. The limited contact Corona fist bump there. The British boys go up by 1 point.
2 all.
Had a chance to run into some of the players that you saw in the crowd earlier. The Chinese national team women seem to be in good spirits. Chop block just carries long here. Also, interestingly enough, because he played Shushin earlier, ran into Simon Gauzy. Said he thought that was the best match of his life. And I said, I haven't seen all your matches, but I agree. I said this was better. Even though you beat him at the World Championships, I thought you played better today. He said, I did. So it was nice to know we were on the same page about that. Up-and-comers, including Zhou Yu there. Yang Jingquin, Fang Bo in the corner. Xu Haidong, Chang Peng. That smile. Zhou Yu with the smile. He could melt a bowl of soup. Never said that before, might never say it again. Team Physio's there as well, Rafa. Perfect placement from Paul, deep to the wide forehand. Keeps the British boys in front by 2. Has to really come around that corner. All about the placement on the table, doesn't go for the kill shot, just the placement. Clever play, fast and wide to the wide forehand here. get the crossover. After all, left-handed, right-handed combination, like the Chinese pair has, means that they want to share the middle for forehands.
Go! 4, 6.
Now, England has quite a rich history with table tennis. Thinking where it actually originated for royalty as an after-dinner game, Whiff Waff, as it was called.
7, 5.
But then 2016 Malaysia coming quite close to beating Japan to earn themselves a spot in the final against China. Would have been fascinating and really was quite more than reasonably close. It was almost just in the palm of their hands.
Seven, 6.
And also at the Commonwealth Games, I think it was versus Nigeria, they were beaten without Quadri Aruna. I mean, Quadri Aruna really stands out for Nigeria. And while they have some young up-and-comers, Omotayo, Olajide that is.
6,
For England to not be able to get through Nigeria, that's quite a strong statement for Nigeria, but also interesting about the British boys. Gavin Evans again in the corner. 2 points in front. England on the receive.
7.
Pitch
8.
trying for the deep corner. So the Chinese pair get within one. Extra effort pays off as Drinkhall gets low and rips this backhand to the wide forehand side. Very smooth backhand stroke. I think a lot of people forget how strong Paul Drinkhall can be. Oh, Shushin with a beautiful shot, but going to the ground, Pitch manages to stay on top of the side and topspin. This was not an easy ball to play. This is the replay here.
Eight, 10.
Drinkhall goes for a flick over the table. Good game point saved. In that replay, you saw Pitch having to fall forward onto his hand just to make sure he could get low enough and stay forward enough to win the point. The placement, and he does it.
11,
The
8,
backhand flick of Liam Pitchford. And Paul Drinkhall with the backhands throughout. Both of them combined to take their first game. They've evened out the playing field. One game apiece. Will be back for game number 3 of the men's doubles final right after this.
Stay close to the table, come on.
And she will only find out later as her friends text her from around the world to say, hey, guess what?
Pitchford to the
You were on TV. Fist bumps to the bros here.
third game.
The British
Malone
bros
to serve.
tied up at 1 game apiece. Dead even in score, points, and games, 19 points apiece. But the pattern that favored the Chinese pairing, Ma Long serving to pitch. Creating an opening for pitch. Not an easy ball, though, from behind the table in the middle. Paul Drinkhall on 1 foot reaches out for that. Still gets back into the corner to stay out of pitch's way. Xu Xin does such a good job of regaining control and balance here. A long push would surprise most in this situation. Deep to the corner, but still with the rushed shot. Kills the ball.
Love 3.
Xu Xin using the side and topspin. In game number 1, there was a lot of trouble. It was tough for Paul Drinkhall to find his rhythm against Xu Xin's side and top.
4. Love.
And the same here. Good start to the point. Fans in the crowd enjoying it. Short stroke there from pitch. But that hooking, bending ball just continues to hook. Paul Drinkhall, his facial expression. Oh, man. A good surprise flick, but Ma Long doesn't flinch. He doesn't move too early. He doesn't fall for anything.
Net 5. Love. Love 6.
And the placement, Ma Long is able to gently guide the ball where he wants, knowing that it's going to be uncomfortable for the opponent. Nice skill set to have. There's a reason he is the dictator. That reason is he's been able to dictate the outcome the way he wants. For quite some time, with a rare exception, of course.
Love.
And even still, the points continue for the Chinese pair. A lot going on here, but the scoreboard quite pleasing for that fan on the front right side of the screen earlier. And not a point dropped yet. Are we going to see a mercy point? Is that still a thing? Does it depend on the quality of the opponents? 0 serving 10.
1, 10.
That was either incredible acting by Xu Xin. We'll leave it at that.
11, 1 game.
So 11-1, absolute domination from world number 1 and world number 3. Ma Long and Xu Xin. Just 1 game away from a title. So we will see game number 4. Will they take it? Will the British boys send this to the decider? Stay right here, game 4 after this.
说哎，反正有这么能加的球的话，也是好。但是那个现在都不来我短那个球，让我割一下。Find a little bit of something I'm not sure here. It's like if we can somehow hold the table, yeah, because they're playing. If we hold the table, even block them, and then we stay in, but we're always just that slightly ahead of them. Okay, let's go again. Do that by bringing it. Let's take it to it. Let's go again. Yeah, just change. Make it a little bit. Come on, let's go.
Come to receive, please. Fourth game.
Players back to the
Pitchford
table for
serve.
game number
Love
4.
ball.
Pitch with the serve. Shushin inside the table with that forehand flick. Too strong, at least in this point here. Good placement on the parallel. Nice change of pace. Paul Drinkhall down the line. The British boys tied up. They don't have to have the same landslide victory that their opponents had on them last game. Just have to win the game.
1, 2.
And that crafty, divisive backhand of Pitch gets the point. In that replay, you could barely even see him hit it. Just for a moment, his back was blocking. That was it. That's how quick the stroke was, how compact and unpredictable it is. I thought that shot from Pitch was outstanding, and Ma Long doesn't move early, just waits there, counters back. Watching the way Ma Long and Shushin talk to each other out here, the way Ma Long offers some insight maybe for a tactic that might work well with Shushin. Just takes me back to watching years ago as Ma Long sat on the ground circling the table and Shushin hit to him for around the world.
That's 3 all.
Think about how much time those two have spent training together over the years. Good spinny backhand from Pitch inside the table. It's his most devastating weapon, in my opinion. While his forehand's very strong and he plays it down the line with all sorts of danger, that backhand from near. And Paulie D, Paul Drinkhall, trying to stay closed against this shot. When Ma Long brings it, it's always a little bit different. Even though he's fast and strong, doesn't always have to overpower. But when the ball's free and loose and Shushin knows he's got time for that backswing, destroys the ball. Just barely above net height. And so confidently arcs it, drives it.
5 all.
So dead even once again. Surprise placement a few times in a row from the British boys in this point. The shot that Shushin chased down was really an impressive ball. I thought that had won the point. The cloud walking, leaping through, keeps the ball in play. Talking to a lot of table tennis, I'd say coaches and even presidents of different associations. The conversation is about, in the men's game, how the gap is closing between China and the rest of the world. When you think about all the doubles pairs that have been competitive against the Chinese men, you think, okay, Japan. There have been many upsets that way in terms of men's doubles. The Korean men recently, Germany's done their damage from time to time. These are some of the leading teams. And right now, England in the final. Playing a very close game number 4 as the Chinese men pull ahead by 1. Beautiful backhand from Pitch and a quick response. Not a lot of time. Here's the timeout. A conversation with Gavin Evans in the corner. I think there has to be right about now. The opponents are 3 points away from taking the title. If not now, then when? I mean, you've only got one shot. I'm not going to rap the entire song. I just like the DJ's choices here. Definitely stay close to the table.
That's I think if you do for on that.
Feels more like a conversation over a cup of coffee in the Chinese corner. 3 wise men, 2 of whom might be coaches in the future and might not be too far away from becoming that. Now, those were 3 people who genuinely did not know they were on TV. Still, this might be the big finale year for these 2, especially in Ma Long's case, but we will see.
Let 8-6.
Leaning down, nearly losing his footing. Xu Xin still makes the shot from under the table. Good opening there by Pitch. Drinkhall softens it up a little bit. Slows it down on the parallel. Right into the body, and it does not come down. It is 4 championship points for the captain, the dragon, the dictator. And the showman, the cloud walker, Superman. Beautiful shot from Xu Xin, and they take it. The Chinese men, the pair on top of the world, have taken the title here at this platinum event. So many more points to their standings in the world. Congratulations to the world champion in singles and in doubles, Ma Long, alongside the greatest doubles player in the game currently, world #1, Xu Xin. Massive respect to Liam Pitchford and Paul Drinkhall for playing an outstanding tournament and really pressing the opponents. For a while it was tight here in game 4, and at 1-1 before the Chinese pair turned it on. To even make it this far in the tournament as a pair, quite impressive, but to put up the fight that they did, England on its way up. Congratulations and respect, but no contact out here between the teams. 3-1. Ma Long and Xu Xin take it. Stick around, we've got the awards ceremony coming up right after this.